Hi friends, Andromeda of Earth here. Today we're talking about the week of February 16th through the 22nd. Today is Monday the 17th. So in my mind, late, but I know that things always show up on time as they are meant to. Yesterday it didn't work out, wasn't feeling the best. My body is certainly still adjusting to the new life growing. What an interesting, beautiful, transformative journey pregnancy is. So here, once again, because my beautiful partner has taken care of the baby, or is taking responsibility of our little one. He really enjoys the bath when he wants, of course. So you may hear him screaming in excitement. That's always a thing. Apologize for clearing my throat or any banging on the table because of the cards causing a jump in the video. I just wanted to say it's been a really fun, beautiful, also transformative process to watch my own videos, give myself constructive criticism so that I can continue to do better. That's always the goal. So, with that said, I would love to welcome any and only benevolent beings to this space. Any ascended masters, ancients, any guides, any being who is of love and light. No, I'm not that. No. I mean, I guess they're welcome, of course. Any being who is in alignment with divine will, in universal law, is welcome here. And thus it could be said, any being of lust and shadow, whatever the opposite of love is. Is there an opposite of love? I don't really think so. It's just the absence of it. Anyway, working today with the Dragon Tarot. So, really a surprising deck. Like I didn't I didn't realize how powerful this deck was until I picked it up and started using it. Well, I encourage you, if you have the resources and vibe at all with dragons, this deck is beautiful. So thank you to the creators. We'll be doing a no show grow spread, so 3-card spread. Those spots can also be synonymous with head, heart, and balance, as well as past, present, and future. I also picked up the Vivid Soul Oracle, just because it was sitting there and it's beautiful and Jess is great. So I decided to I'll just randomly cut the deck and see what additional guidance is there. I also tend to look at the shadow for the energies as well. So no. The Eight of Swords, not in focus. I like the imagery in this card, and it's certainly interesting and notable to me that a lot of the times that I work with this deck, this card comes up, so I already have a vibe with it. You know, I feel it. I tend to get this like idea that like we can't really see where our mental, you know, bearings are. You know, we don't really know much about what's going on besides we can feel the swords here and here and here. We just don't realize, okay, interesting how it's coming into focus now, that if we just elevated, if we just rose up, we could get out of this cage it feels like we've created. I really enjoy how the dragon tail is curled down into this S shape, reminding me of Kundalini energy, helping to ground us. We have to be grounded enough and connected enough to our earthly celestial body in order to adequately receive the energies, the inspirations, the connection, all those things that we receive from our mother. A lot of times the Kundalini, we think of elevation and rising up and moving up our chakras, and you know, that is definitely true and awesome as well. You know, as much as we are looking up, we also can look down and extend our energy down, and that actually might be the key to helping us gain the momentum to elevate and to rise up out of this cage it appears that we are in. Being an 8, it is an abundance of mental energies, and an infinite amount, if you will. So there's a lot of power in that. Use it appropriately. You know your mind. You know, if you can't move right now, that can really be a blessing. Just hang out, just wait, just listen. If you can't see, use your other senses. Listen to your mind, observe it, be with it, without really requiring that change, because there isn't any change that's required. Maybe not yet. Maybe it's the time of figuring out, you know, feeling out the toroidal field, you know, of your brain, because we of course have a bigger one in our heart and a huge one in our heart, but our head also produces electromagnetic energy as well. So let's feel that out. You know, what's going on around the head with the head. Figure out all the sides. That will help you to elevate in times when you know it's right. So, Vampire. I've gotten this card quite a bit as well with this deck, and it's not surprising, right? We all know it's an Emperor here. this dragon is very pleased with himself. Is that what it is? Very happy, very, it's got its orb of power, it's got its forest around them exactly how they like. It kind of almost looks like it's smoldering or burning, but I'm pretty sure it's that way on purpose. You know, this emperor has tended to his realm, or their realm, like a gardener does to the garden. Got that imagery from Jen at Natural Magics. I freaking love that. Seeing the compassion that the emperor really needs to have for all in their realm in order for it to flourish and be fertile, to carry on that energy that the empress brought in the card number 3. Otherwise, it's gonna die. Everything, all the flowers and the creations, it's like they either have now an opportunity to flourish or to wither. You know, often depends on what kind of ruler you're living with. You know, this is in our heart space. So having merging, you know, this could be a really great opportunity to merge together our heart and the authority figure structure. You know, we don't always think about our heart and feeling realm being the space of structure. And you know, maybe in your situation, maybe it is. But having it here can really allow ourselves to own our space. And it's not just space, it's time and space, owning our time. Not allowing external forces, so other kingdoms, to influence our space. Influence it too much to get us off of our track, you know, our goal, our drive, our momentum. We are all creating little energy waves out there, little ripples in the sea of now. And these ripples, these little universes we create, they touch and bump up and interact with other people. And the more that we can, the more that you do live in your vortex, the more a current forms around it. And if you've ever been, you know, in a pool where it's going one direction, a circle, 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 and then you decide to get out of that momentum and do something different, it's very hard, especially initially. But if we can keep some structure, or utilize some structure, it can help us to feel out those waves and give us something to hold on to, you know, to feel them, but not let them move us. At least move us off track, right? Owning your space allows you to even allow other people in. You know, what kind of ruler are you? Are you a fascist dictator that throws up all the boundaries and the walls? You know, because you gotta keep everybody else out, because everybody else is scary and bad. Or are you the kind of ruler that encourages travel, encourages other opinions and viewpoints into your realm because you know it enriches you, right? And this doesn't specifically only concern our mental realm, especially because, right, this is in our heart space, so other feelings can be welcome too. Remember, they're just visitors. They aren't you, they aren't your kingdom, they are just things, beings, entities in and of themselves that can come and visit and enrich our lives. So thinking about what kind of ruler, what kind of structure or authority we are bringing into our heart space to help us this week. Oh, it's exciting to see an Emperor card. Any four, right? Any four. And then grow. The Lovers. See if we can get it in focus. Maybe not right now. Okay. So I love the yin and yang on the top there. Really showing the balance that exists in partnership. The good, the bad, the good and the bad and the good, and the whole all exist simultaneously. So when we are in a relationship and in a situation, we can remember that it is the whole that is the most true, and that includes all of it. Just because we are looking and are in one specific space, good, bad, good within the bad, bad within the good, you know, that is just our current perspective that always changes. Partnerships, I mean, that's pretty much what you see here. Partnerships doesn't necessarily mean romantic love, or romantic coming together. These dragons both have their heart in their hand, which again, to me, doesn't necessarily mean love, because romantic love, because love is inherent within all of us. So we do not need to be in a romantic relationship in order to experience love, in order to have our heart in our hand. That in this situation can come, you know, in any type of partnership. It looks like there's one being that's sort of like above and one being that's below. They're both looking at each other. So it almost feels to me that there is like a power dynamic going on here. They're very intertwined. They are just another yin yang situation. But because they have their hearts in their hands, they're vulnerable. And vulnerability, that may be the key to our growth this year, or this week, this day, this moment, right? They're all just fractals of each other. If you can allow the embrace, if you can allow the intertwining, you can allow each other to get wrapped up in each other, there is a comfort in knowing that there is a yin to your yang. It really much allows you to feel the wholeness and the separateness at the same time. It's very paradoxical, which I love. So another representation of the lovers, or significant symbolism for the lovers, is Gemini. So where in your chart does Gemini lie? Right off the bat, I'm not remembering if there is any celestial bodies in Gemini, but do you have any in your birth chart? Maybe tapping into that could be a source of growth for you. You can take this as a chance to maybe learn about your third house, which is what Gemini typically rules over, being the third suit of the zodiac. That's interesting to me. I don't know, have all of the things of the tarot memorized, and I oftentimes think that's better because then I can just roll with the intuitive things, but it looks like that's the 6 there for the lovers. Interesting to me how we're just talking about how Gemini being the third suit of the zodiac, and then the lovers being 2 beings coming out to being a 6, right? 6s are amazing because they are the symbol of the sacred spiral, our path we travel through the universe. It's a very universal, karmic kind of energy. There's always a yin to the yang. If you view this lover's energy as a whole being, know that as much bad power that you have within you, you have just as much love and light in there as well to balance, because you are whole and complete. Where is the power, in your internal good and bad, angel devil kind of situation? Maybe analyzing that, seeing who really takes the reins of your head and heart, and the balance, the yin yang, growth, our future. Our shadow in this time is the 6 of coins. So we just talked about 6s, right? Looks like there are 6 pentagrams in the forest. This dragon is holding the scale. So there is that Libra energy, which is often associated with 6s. Does it feel out of our reach to have an earthly balance? Where, if you had to line up all the stacks, of what's going on in your earthly realm, your material possessions, your all the things that manifest in this realm, and your connection to the earth. If it feels out of balance, it feels out of whack, there's definitely an invitation to dive into that shadow aspect. Maybe spend some time in nature. And it looks like they're sitting in their own little throne made out of trees amongst a sea of mushrooms underneath them. Do you have a connection, relationship with mushrooms at all? That could be a way to work with this shadow energy. If you resonate with such medicines, and I say if ever you are experimenting, please do so in a safe manner with a sober friend and someone and people who can help create good experiences. It's so key when working with plant medicine. You have to have the safe space to process. And same with getting back to center and returning to center. Gotta have that. Gotta know where the spiral is in order to get right back onto the solid footing of it. So I'm gonna cut the deck and see where we're at with the Vivid Soul Oracle. Refinement. Oh, one of the moon cards. Pretty sure. The waxing gibbous. So adjustments, fine tuning. I release expectations and go with the flow. Fluidity and grace. So that's a message for us for this week. Take the week to see where we're at, get our mental bearings, refine that process, and give ourselves some grace. You know, we don't have to move quite yet. And seeing where we are, we can then make compassionate choices for ourselves, things that will give us the most footing, the most inertia that will allow our self to eventually blossom through playing with our own inner masculine, feminine love, you know, love and light, shadow and lust, you know, whatever it is that is our quote good and bad, our yin and yang. We got this. I will be creating some journal prompts and an altar, doing energy work for you folks, with Reiki and such. Those will be on part 2 of my Patreon, and part 1 will be up as soon as possible. Thank you folks for being. Bye.